thing I wanted to do over here was to play some of it's called the guitar, guess the guitarist. So my son Arjun is going to play some solos and I'm going to play it. I hope you can hear it. If you can't, then I'll play it for the second time or we'll move on. But I'm going to play it. It's on my mobile. And the whole idea is, you're going to guess who it is. And in order to make it more confusing, there'll be multiple choice questions.
Oh boy.
I don't know whether you could hear that.
I can't hear it very clearly, but I think I can make out that he's
there are four options. Eric Clapton, Mark Knopfler, Richie Blackmore, or Bryan Adams. And I'll play it once again.
That's okay. I think it's definitely not Knopfler, not Clapton. It's probably Richie Blackmore or the last one that you had.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I think you couldn't hear it, but I'll play it again. I'll send it to you. I think it's Clapton. That's what he told me.
There you go. What do I know?
Another one. The second one. Here goes.
I can't hear it, Sunandan. It's like totally broken, so I can't hear it. Maybe you can send it to me and I'll reply.
Yeah. I think there is a problem with this experimenting with, let me show you the third one.
Oh, another song. I once had a girl. Yeah, I know this song. Yeah, the sound is very bad, Sunandan.
Yeah, okay. But since you've got it, I'll give you the options. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, Scorpions, and the fifth one, I also have a fifth option that Arjun needs to work on his guitar skills.
No. Arjun's very good. So it's Beatles.
Fantastic. Well, you've guessed the song as well. That was for bonus point, but you've done it. Which song did you say it was, by the way?
I once had a girl. I mean, that's the lead. That's the one of the words in it. So
Norwegian Wood, I think. Norwegian Wood, actually.
Norwegian Wood, yeah.
Okay, we'll get down to our second and the final segment, and of course, we have some special guests who want to meet you, and that's going to be a surprise. And I'm going to just come to a new section which we have introduced, Anu and I, which is calling Unofficial Time. Now, in this, you're allowed to skip a maximum of 3 questions with no comment. The rest, you'll have to answer. Okay? Are we ready? Shall we get on with it?
Yep.
Clapton or Knopfler?
Clapton.
The most overrated band in history?
Radiohead. Because they've got, I think as far as I can remember, only one big hit.
They're typically a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan?
Amitabh Bachchan, because he continues to reinvent himself.
Absolutely. Amazing. Most overrated actor in history?
Shah Rukh Khan, because my wife loves him, so I hate him.
Same issue at my end as well, by the way. And you know her. Tell me something. What's the envy? What do you, in your rivals, what is it that you envy in if your leadership skills, your rivals' leadership skills, what would you envy?
I think the companies I really admire are companies that disrupt themselves, like Amazon,
Right.
Apple, Netflix. I think it's very hard for companies to keep reinventing themselves, and I admire that.
Absolutely. And most underrated leader in the business world?
It would have to be Satya at Microsoft. I think he's doing an incredible job, but because he's humble and he's understated, I think one doesn't hear as much from him.
Okay.
And one, Anu, you want to ask?
I wanted to ask, since you were part of a roundtable with the president on how to bring the restaurant business back. Retail and restaurants have been hit in a way that no business has been hit. I mean, the only other two businesses that compare are hospitality, as in hotels, and airlines, which have been hit. So, to people on this broadcast and people who will see your interview later, read it in the magazine, what is your forecast for the restaurant industry?
Well, I think it's a moment of severe disruption, without question. I think in the US and I think also in India, what is challenging is that the health crisis is becoming a financial crisis and also a humanitarian crisis. And that's unprecedented for us in recent times. And therefore, I think the need of the hour is to innovate. We can't help what's happening to us. It's a crazy, uncertain time, but I think we can certainly help how we reshape our business models. So I would say that being very close to how the consumer is changing, what the consumer needs are, and then rapidly evolving the business model whilst remaining true to who you are as a brand is what's needed. And I think companies that are going to be able to make that pivot swiftly will actually end up winning, because they'll come out of this stronger, leaner, more relevant, more agile than before. And there's also bound to be a shakeout as well. People who can't do it will not survive. So I think it's a very important moment. I would say a definitional moment for leaders and companies where they need to step back, look at what's happening, and be prepared to rapidly innovate.
And is the cloud kitchen and the restaurant coming to your home be a substantial business in the future? Or do you see it as a additional source of income?
So I think so. Some of the consumer insights that I can share with you that I think are probably universal post the pandemic. One is a desire for tangible safety, most importantly. I think customers want to feel safe. So the more tangible we can make it in our food retail experience, the better it is. Contactless delivery and so forth. Second, I think they're looking for more convenience through off-premise and e-commerce access. Customers want to be able to access you. Again, it's an extension of safety, off-premise access. So anything that we can do to innovate off-premise, like curbside, drive-throughs, rapid pickup, delivery, etc., I think but all mobile enabled. So mobile e-commerce is very important. The third important trend is around value. I think given the headwinds we'll have financially, value is going to be massively important to customers in the future. And the last one I think is also on food. Interestingly, the food that is bucking the trend right now is reflective of the desire of customers to seek indulgence, nostalgia, and comfort. So in the US, for example, pizza chains are doing very well. And they're growing positive 10, positive 20, which is amazing. My former company, Krispy Kreme Doughnuts, doing exceptionally well. So people are looking for that moment of pleasure and more indulgence than they have before. So I think dialing up that aspect of your brands, giving customers what they want, when they want it, how they want it, is going to be massively important.
Thank you so much, Niren. We don't ask business-related questions, but since we have your presence here, I decided for Businessworld readers and viewers, this would be something that would give them direction. Sunandan, back to you.
Absolutely. Coming back to our unofficial time quickly, just a few questions actually. And about business, have you ever felt like you are underperforming, Niren?
I feel like that multiple times every day, So, it's a constant journey. You're every day you can be better than what you are, and how you turn up in different situations, different meetings, different conversations. And I think always having that sense of awareness that how can I be more effective, I think is an ongoing journey.
Fantastic. I still remember my days in advertising, and when I worked with Alec Padamsi, and he had this thing which he had put on everybody's notice, softboard, that what value have I added today? And that's the question we need to ask every day. What value have I added today? That was from Alec. Anyway, what trait are you most proud of?
I think I'm a lifelong learner, and I feel that is a trait that inspires me and energizes me and keeps me moving forward. So I think learning is probably the most important trait.
And a trait that you wished you had?
I think it's the flip side of learning, which is because of what I'm drawn so much to ideas. I can sometimes overwhelm people with my ideas. So I need to be focused and disciplined in execution because I'm so ideas driven. So I think that's something I need to constantly work on.
So what do you want to be remembered as? A coach, a leader, a musician, or Farhan Akhtar's best role till date?
Oh, well, I just want to be remembered as a compassionate human who wanted to inspire himself and others to be the best version of themselves. That's
amazing.
That's what's important to me.
Last question. Sue or Anu?
Well, I would say neither. I would say it's Anshu. Combination of the two.
I was going to say Kumar Sanu, something like that. You and your loved one.
I think Anshu is my
Got away with that.
Oh no, my brother-in-law is Anshu and I love him, so I would say Anshu.
That says it all. Thank you so much. Niren, we can't let you go, and before we get the special guest, we would love you to play something for us and sing for us. 2 songs if you can. One certainly we want to hear you sing. Yeah.
I think given the technological differences, let's keep it to one, but let's see how it sounds. So just give me a sec, I'll just try.
Fantastic.
I'll try and sort of adjust my settings here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's try this. Can you hear this?
Yep.
Yes, I know it's kind of late. Hope I didn't wake you. What I've got to say can't wait. Hope you'll understand. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song. Yes, I know it's kind of strange. Every time I need you, I just running out of things to say. Hope you'll understand. Every time the time was ripe, all the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song. Every time the time was ripe, all the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song. Yes, I know it's kinda strange. Every time I need you, I just running out of things to say. Hope you'll understand. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song. All right, there you go.
Amazing, man. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You played the guitar in the background that you recorded earlier, is it?
Oh, it's the background music.
Yeah. Fantastic. That was wonderful. So I think we've of course overshot our time as usual, but we want to bring in some special guests. The first guest this evening is Divya Sharma. I think, Divya, can you come on? Divya is to the viewers, of course, we don't have to tell you that, but to the viewers, Divya, your executive assistant when you were president in the Indian subcontinent for Yum. So Divya.
One of my favorite people.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's been truly a very humbling experience to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And it's so good to see you, Niren.
Likewise.
Divya, this is an opportunity for you to ask Niren something you could not have asked before. So, and remember, this is an unofficial show, right? Nothing official about it, right? So,
yes, I do have something on my mind, and I know you briefly touched upon it, Niren, but I know and I remember what kind of a crazy calendar it used to be for you. It used to be crazy schedules, but you always found the time to learn a new skill. You always found the time to be a coach, a mentor, an avid reader, karate, playing guitar, playing golf. Wow, there's so many things. Tennis, singing in a band. So there's so many things, and other than being an exceptional leader and a full-time father and an exceptional father, I'm curious to ask you, which area do you find yourself investing most of your time during the pandemic right now? And what's next on your bucket list?
Well, so I think the reason why I express myself is because in this fashion is because I think of my life like a wheel, and all the roles that I have in my life are like spokes. So a father, a son, a friend, a CEO, a coach, a musician, a scholar, a spiritual student. And I think if you were to take the metaphor of a wheel, the only way your life's journey will be smooth if you're progressing against each one of those spokes and becoming better at what's important to you. So that's kind of what I hold in my mind and drives me. So I'm constantly trying to be better. I can be a better father. I can be a better husband, a better friend, a better coach every single day. So I think that is unending. But one of my recent pursuits is language. As you know, I love languages. I speak Dutch and a bit of German, and now I'm learning Spanish. I'm learning Spanish now. So Spanish is my new love.
Nice. Gracias for answering that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Our next guest is Gautam. Gautam Joshi will join us from the Middle East, UAE, Dubai, and he's currently Senior Director of Operations in Middle East and Asia for Krispy Kreme. Gautam, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, thank you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Sunandan, for getting me in, and Niren, always so good to see you and talk to you.
Fantastic to see you, Gautam.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. So Niren, as you know, as I was going through this session, I think one of the things which I really miss is especially the time that I spend with you, and particularly the visits that we used to do in the market visits that we used to do. And Niren had this crazy calendar. He would come in for 4 days, and we would kind of end up visiting 5 countries, all across the time zones. So it kind of reminds me of the time that I used to have with Niren. I think that's something which I really miss. Spending time with you, learning so much, and as you, I think all the listeners heard him speak. It's so amazing to kind of hear him. Niren, one of the incidents, I would say, I think kind of taking the lead from what you spoke about, David visiting your house. I think I just want to kind of share this story. So this was Niren was, I think, going to Australia, and he was coming from US. He had a stopover in Middle East for 1 day, and he was supposed to conduct a leadership session for the Middle East team. So I picked him up from the airport in the morning in Dubai, and he was not well. He had a bad throat and an acidity attack. And he had an 8-hour, session with you, which you kind of had an electrifying session with the team. And towards the end of the session, we still had, the dinners and a few meetings still left. So Niren just asked me that, how far is your house from here? Because he was aware that my parents were visiting me in Dubai. So I said it's close by, and he said, I want to come to your house and visit your parents. And I was very happy, delighted, as you would imagine, but I was also concerned because he was not well, and he had an early morning flight to Australia the next day, and he was also not well. So I got him home, and I think thing which kind of really stood out, and I think this is something which is really special for me, is he not only Niren came to my house, he spent one-on-one time with my parents, with my wife, with my son, and by the time he left, he was a part of the family. So even now, in the family group, whenever I see Niren, speaking in the White House or any session of his, or any song that he shares with us, shared in the family group, and it's everybody's got a connection. So I think that's something which maybe my question to you is that how do you do that? And why do you do that? As in, with the kind of time, with the kind of schedule that you have, you had no reason. I love you coming. I never asked this question because I was absolutely humble and privileged that you visited my home. But I still kind of wonder at times that what is your inspiration to kind of take out that kind of a time and do something like this.
Thank you, Gautam. I think, I feel that I have been lucky and privileged in my life to have had many leaders, in a way, pour into me. They pour themselves into me, and I've become richer because of that, because I've had mentors like David and others who have taken the time to pour into me. And I want to pay it forward. I want to pour into other people and give them my heart and my compassion and my connection and my commitment to help them become insanely successful and happy. So that's where it comes from. I'm just paying it forward. I'm paying forward what I have received, and it'll be terrific if you think the same way and pay forward what you received.
Thank you, Niren. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned to me once about Niren's personalized gifts. Legendary, actually, in that sense. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I think so many of them. I think
And
what is
handwritten notes as well, right? That he used to do
oh,
for
absolutely.
everybody practice.
Absolutely. I think I've seen a lot of people recognizing, but the kind of efforts that I've seen in, anybody who's worked with him would agree with me that when it used to come to anniversary or birthdays, the kind of effort that he would make to ensure that the gift is absolutely relevant, something that people are really looking forward to. And we all knew, while we were working with him, we all knew that Niren would always kind of go out of his way and really kind of gift something which is special. So I just want to share another story. So Niren was visiting the Bombay office, and I was taking him around for the market visit, and my birthday was in the next month. So I thought, let me take my chance. And I told Niren that something which I'm really looking forward is a BMW, because I just heard that he gifted a video game to the CFO. So he had a good laugh. And after a week, and I also spoke about some other things, generally, about the macroeconomics, things like that. So after a week, I got a gift. I got a packet from in my office. He went back to Delhi, and then I got the packet from the office. It had a book on macroeconomics, along with a note which said that Gautam, really appreciate your leadership, and here's the book on macroeconomics, and the car would follow soon. I still have that note, and maybe Niren, I can get my car someday.
Fabulous. Well, we have a third special guest this evening, and Sandeep Day. Sandeep, can we have you? Hello.
Hi, Niren.
Hey, Sandeep. Hi, good to see you.
Hey, Sandeep.
Thanks for joining us.
Sorry, first of all, apology. There is a lot of network issue at my end, and I'm not based out of Dubai office, so I don't have the privilege like Gautam to have 6G. So there might be a little bit of interruptions, but please bear with me.
But we can hear you.
So Sunandan, first of all, thank you, Niren, and it's a great privilege, and it's an honor to be on your show. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
So Sunandan, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you mentioned many things when I talked to you earlier, and you did classify your 22 years as before Niren and after Niren. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, I know this is like how history is divided into a timeline like BC and AD. So my life could also be divided into before Niren and after Niren. And it's not just for official life, but it's otherwise the personal life also. I was a different person before Niren era, and then I became a different person after Niren, and that's the kind of rub-off effect I have on my life because of Niren. And the kind of so there has been times, and Sunandan and I discussed with you, there has been some little bit of personal crisis I've been going through. And I just, whenever I get, down and out, I think of Niren, how he dealt with his challenges in life and how he emerged every time as a winner. It just keeps me going. So yeah, in short, before Niren and after Niren, that's how I would like to define my life.
Fantastic.
So Sunandan, this is officially unofficial, right?
Right, absolutely.
So can I take the liberty to share some funny insights and funny incidents?
Absolutely, we're waiting to hear.
Okay, so we all, in this session itself, I think 4 to 5 times we heard Niren saying, bring the best version of yourself every single day, right? And it's so inspirational thought, right? And if you're around him, it obviously it kinds of rubs on you. But Niren, for you, it is very easy to be always at the best version of yourself. But hum log, what we have gone through in order to do that, I want to share a couple of incidences there. So, Sunandan, this is that time of the year where all the functions we are supposed to make a 5-year future back strategy, and which we are supposed to present to the global leadership team, right? And Niren being Niren, I mean, he is meticulous in everything, right? So anybody, if he has to represent India business, that strategic thinking, that presentation has to be impeccable. So he was so much busy in his schedule, but he decided to help us prepare our presentation, guide us through the whole process. And we were working under tremendous, time constraint. So what he said, he asked 3-4 of us from supply chain that why don't you guys come over to my home this weekend and I will go through the presentation and give you guys your inputs. So we said, okay, fine. So we go to his farmhouse, and he's a brilliant host. So plethora of food, beverages, all those things were there. But somehow I feel Niren felt a little sad about us. He felt that, yeah, these guys, they have been working so hard through the week. Now I call them even on the weekend. So let me make them feel a little relaxed, make them feel a little cheer up. So he said, yeah, we will see the presentation later. Let's first play some TT. And then your intent was very pure. You wanted to cheer us up. But eventually what happened was you beat us badly on all the games. So forget about the kind of inputs we got on the presentation, but we were ashamed of ourselves on the TT also. Now Sunandan cut 2. So it did not get over. So he gave all those inputs and he wanted us to work on those. And then next weekend, he wanted to finalize the presentation. So that entire week, morning 9 to 6, we were working on presentation, and then evening 6 to 9, we were working on table tennis. So that's the kind of pressure Niren puts on us in order to just be the best version of ourselves. But what eventually happened, we lost even on the next day. But then that game stayed with us. We learned that game. We learned the nuances of that game. And even till date, we play that game. So that's the impact of Niren on you, just trying to imitate him. I mean, that's the kind of an effect he leaves on us. The second insight or a story, and this is, I personally find it very funny. Niren, you remember every year before Christmas, you would always do your rock shows. December 23rd, 22nd, you would do your rock shows. And who are we? Not just his team, but we are biggest fans, right? So we will obviously land up going and attend all those rock shows. So we will reach there a little ahead of time so that we grab those first few rows. We are all set. Niren walks up to the stage. He tunes his guitar. He sets the stage. And then he starts singing all those English classic songs. Now, who are we, Sunandan? We are supply chain guys. We are Kishore Kumar, Abhijit, Kumar Sanu kind of a guys, right? Yeah. So we can't get head and tail out of those lyrics, but we are enjoying. Then suddenly I see one of my colleague, Vinit Jain, a little, ahead of me. He is lip singing, he is head banging, he is enjoying. And I was disappointed and frustrated with myself that am I the only guy who can't understand the lyrics? I thought all the supply chain guys would be on the same boat. So I pushed through a crowd, I go close to Vinit, I shook him up and I asked him, Kya hai? He said, Kya hai? I said, how come you're lip singing? He said, so? I said, how do you know the lyrics? He said, no, in my head I am playing Kishore Kumar. It's just that I have matched my rhythm with Niren's rhythm and that's how I'm enjoying. Right? So that's how we used to, try and manage. But then the best part is cut to March of next year. It was a supply chain convention. About 100, 150 audience, all supply chain guys and then vendor partners. Niren walks up to the stage. He spends about an hour and we are all mesmerized. Awesome speech, right? And then as always, he finishes his speech. I walk up to the stage. I hand over the guitar to him. I request him, Niren, why don't you sing some song for us? And then I get down, I stand in front of the console. I look at Vinit. Vinit looks at me and we are in our head settled that, okay, which song we have to play in our mind today. But then Niren starts singing and he sings Mohit Chauhan. That's the man to you. So he is a leader who does not believe in cut, copy, paste. He will speak to you in your language. He is like, it's not same size fits all. It's horses for courses. And that's the reason it is so inspiring to just be around you. So Niren, sorry about all those funny stuff, but trust me on a serious note, the kind of effect and the impact you have left on us, personally on me, I think whatever little I've done in my life, 20% I can take credit, 10% I can give it to luck, 70% is on you, boss. So thank you for everything you have done to us. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunil.
So, question, Sunandan.
Well, I don't know whether Niren has anything to say, but this is one section. Anu had to leave because of a jury meet he has to attend. But this is one section which I wanted him to conduct. But nevertheless, quickly, I want to actually ask you, it's a game for the guests, which I want, Niren will have the final say, of course. Just 5 questions. Now, let's see who gets it right. So, how many guitars does Niren have in his bedroom?
5. I think it's 5.
Is there a multiple choice question?
No. Take any number.
Can we debate on this?
No. Just give me one figure, one number.
5 is correct.
Oh,
5 is
fantastic.
Thank you.
Hey, Sunandan, I need to actually sign off in about 5 minutes. I see some questions from some of the listeners. I don't know if you want to go to those.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a few questions here, what says, this is from Seema Mohan Chandran saying, how do you stay motivated every day? Niren.
Yeah, Seema, that's good to hear from you. I think, I don't know how many of you practice writing a gratitude journal. I think it's a very simple but very impactful practice where before you sleep at night or first thing when you wake up in the morning, just write down 3 things that you feel grateful for. And these 3 things could be everyday things. It could be a meal, it could be a movie, it could be a friend, it could be a call, it could be something very simple. But I think just the habit of reminding yourself to start or end the day with gratitude is a phenomenal way to stay anchored and appreciate what we have and not spend all our energy on what we don't have.
Fabulous. Vishwa Mohan has asked about 3 questions, so I will ask one of them. Are we losing the emotional quotient that Niren values?
Are we in terms of all of us? Well, if the question is around all of us,
Yep.
I don't think so. I'm an eternal optimist. I believe in the goodness of humanity and goodness of people everywhere. I don't think so. And I think it's up to us to make sure that we don't.
Okay. There's a question from Mark Patterson, and he says, Niren mentioned the future back process, which begins by defining the future state and then working backwards to establish actionable milestones. Is this something new or something that you have naturally embodied throughout your life?
Well, it's something that I've learned at Yum Brands. Yum has a terrific culture, and one of the anchor points of Yum is future back. And essentially, in a very simple way, what it means is that there are 3 moments in time that we spend our time thinking and doing, the past, present, and future. However, we have 2 choices. Either we can spend the present past forward, or we can spend the present future back. And I think if you spend the present past forward, that is not nearly as inspiring as a present spent in service of the future that we wish to create. So that's a simple idea, that don't look in the rearview mirror, look ahead and imagine what things can be and do what the very best that you can to move in the direction that lies ahead as opposed to looking back in terms of what you left behind.
Great. Well, what an exciting session. Many thanks, Niren, for being there. I must admit, in the last 1 hour, you've certainly earned yourself 1 more fan, 1 more follower, and if you permit, 1 more disciple, that's me, and probably Anu too as well, Inspired, motivated by the Nirenisms, and fantastic for you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thanks, Sandeep. Thanks, Gautam. And thanks, Divya, for making it.